Good morning. And welcome to First Parish Brewster. We are a Unitarian, Universalist, welcoming congregation of people of diverse philosophies and beliefs, people of various cultures and races, sexual orientations, gender identities, abilities, and socio-economic backgrounds. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your path, may this be a place of rest and restoration on your journey. I am Twinks Hastings, the Lifespan Religious Education Director, happy to be welcoming you to the service today with our worship host, Margaret Rice-Moyer, our interim music director, Kaisa Fern, and our guest preacher, Reverend Joanna Lubkin. Rev Joanna joins us on her Sunday off from the Theodore Parker Church, where she serves as the interim minister. Raised and rooted in Judaism, Rev Jo is passionate about multi-faith identities, singing harmonies, and going on adventures with her disability service dog, Sully. Welcome, Rev Joanna. This morning, before we start worship, I have some sad news to share with all of you. Last night, surrounded by family, beloved longtime member John Myers passed peacefully. He will be remembered fondly by all for his smart wit and sweet self. Let's join in a minute of silence in remembrance of our beloved John. As we move on in this week and the days to come, I know that John will be in many of our hearts. Know that Rev Jessica is available and our caring committee if anyone needs to talk.
Something between us, two hearts go a-thumping, oh baby, there ain't no room for those blues. They say money is the root of evil, it'll cause every fuss. Have no fear, for evil here will never come to us. 'Cause I've got nothing and you've got nothing between us. We both got nothing, oh baby. We ain't got nothing to lose. We shouldn't worry, you and I, though the skies are gray. Things will brighten by and by, love will find a way. We'll make a wonderful pair, we'll be happy, I swear. 'Cause I've got nothing and you've got nothing between us. We both got nothing, oh baby. We ain't got nothing to lose. I know something and you know something between us. Two hearts go a-thumping, oh baby. There ain't no room for those blues. They say money is the root of evil. It'll cause every fuss. Have no fear, for evil here will never come to us.
Feel free to join on this last one.
'Cause I got nothing and you got nothing between us. We both got nothing, oh baby. We ain't got nothing to lose. Baby, we ain't got nothing to lose.
That was definitely worth waiting for the announcements for. Fabulous. So I'm Margaret Rice-Moyer, Worship Associate, and I'm just reminding you that our services are recorded and available on your YouTube channel midweek. And we do ask that all over the age of 4 mask. We ask that you wear your your name tags or stickers in an effort to be more welcoming. And of course, we welcome the noises, movements, and mirth that our little ones bring into our meeting house. Our services run 60 to 75 minutes generally. If you need to leave before then, please feel welcome to use the doors at the rear of the sanctuary. And for those who are first-time visitors this morning, is anybody here a first-time visitor who would like to introduce themselves? We will send around a mic. Who? Who pointed something? Nope, it looks like nobody's here. We do welcome visitors. If there are any visitors incognito, please go to the welcoming table after today's service for more information about becoming a member of First Parish. Welcome on this morning, which we make sacred by our presence together, and a big welcome to people streaming. There are a number of community news announcements, so I'm going to try to shorten them. Many of them are in your order of service. The first is Gather the Spirit, Putting Faith into Action, Potluck and Fun and Fun Shop, led by Twinks Hastings on Saturday, March 4th. I think you can read about that in your order of service. Muse to the Music, join music director Kaisa Fern and Lifespan religious educator Twinks for an uplifting and fun-filled evening of music, movement, and painting. What a great trio that is. And that's on Tuesday, March 7th. Women Rowing North. This is a discussion group based on Mary Pfeiffer's book, Women Rowing North. For if you are interested in signing up for that, it begins at the end of March. All are welcome to either call the office or click on the links in the angle to sign up. And this afternoon, the Meeting House Speaker Series welcomes Janet Robertson and Robin Miller, and they will preview the film Journeys in the Light, Untold Stories of Cape Cod. And this really promises to be fascinating, a unique perspective on 4 centuries of Cape Cod, and highlighting the histories of Native Americans, African Americans, Cape Verdeans, and other people of color. So I hope that you will make time in your schedules to be there. The Soup Shop invites you to stop by their table before and after service today and purchase from an assortment of homemade soups and bread. This is a separate endeavor from the soup packages sold in the online auction, and these soups are available to everybody. Supplies are limited, cash or check accepted. And, of course, the membership book is available for signing today, so sign up. Next Sunday, you're invited to a service with guest speakers Reverend Shay McKay and Diana McLean, titled The Paths That Brought Us Here. And they will talk about how they came to Unitarian Universalism. All are welcome at 10 o'clock. Following the service today, everyone is invited to the parish room for mask-optional coffee and conversation, or you are welcome to socialize in the sanctuary with masks on. So, yes, welcome.
Prize of I've got nothing.
Oh, okay. I got mixed up. Yeah, I got it. This is age-related. Your body is welcome here, by Sean Neil Barron. Your body is welcome here, all of it. Yes, even that part, and yes, even that part. The parts you love, and the parts you don't. For in this place, we come with all that we are, all that we have been, and all that we are going to be. Our bodies are constantly changing. Cells die and cells are reborn. We respond to infections and disease. Sometimes we can divorce them from our bodies, and other times they become a permanent part of us, your body and all that is within it. Both wanted and not wanted has a place here. Our bodies join in a web of co-creation, created and creating, constantly changing us, scarred and tattooed, tense and relaxed, diseased and cured, unfamiliar and intimate, formed in infinite diversity of creation. Your body is welcome here, all of it. So take a moment and welcome it. Take a moment to feel in it. Take a moment to be in it.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit and open your teal hymnal to 1051. We Are, number 1051.
Child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time, daughters of dust and sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love, lovers of life and builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith, makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
And I invite you to join me in reciting our affirmation and responding with the italicized text. We believe in love.
Love is the doctrine of this church.
We believe in truth.
The quest for truth is its sacrament.
We believe in helping others. We believe in the sacredness of life. You may have a seat.
I ask all of our children and youth to come on up and join me. We're all going to sit on the blue carpet today because we have to time travel. And we took away the time machine that we had last year, so we're gonna have to make up how we time travel, but it's okay. We can do it without our time machine. We did have a time machine in the barn last year. Okay, but it's not only our children and youth that have to time travel today, it's everybody. Are we good with this? Okay. So, some of us are going to have to time travel for 3 years, and some of us for 10 years, and some people like me for 41 years, and some other people out there maybe 50 years, or 60 years, or 101 years. because what we're time traveling to is the moment that we were born, okay? So some of us were born at home, some of us might have been born in a hospital or in an operating theatre, and some of us may live in a different country than where we were born now, or live with different people than the person that birthed us, but we all have a moment where we were born, and that's where we're going to time travel to. But since we don't have our time travel machine, we have to do a little prep. So if you are able, you have to stretch your arms out to the side. That means all of you. Good. And then you have to reach your arms up high. Good. And like shake your head a little. Okay, stomp your feet a little. Okay. Good. And then one thing you don't know about Kaisa yet is she's actually magical. And she has some magical music that's going to take us back to the moment we were born. So everybody close your eyes. Okay. Let's go. On the night you were born, the moon smiled with such wonder that the stars peeked in to see you, and the night wind whispered, "Life will never be the same, because there has never been anyone like you, ever, in this world." So enchanted with you were the wind and the rain that they whispered the sound of your wonderful name. The sound of your name is a magical one. Let's say it out loud before we go on. Say your names. It sailed through the farmland, high on the breeze. Who in the world is exactly like you? Who? Over the ocean and through the trees, until everyone heard it and everyone knew of the one and only ever you. Not once had there been such eyes, such a nose, such silly, wiggly, wonderful toes. In fact, I think I'll count to 3 so you can wiggle your toes for me. When the polar bears heard, they danced until dawn. From faraway places, the geese flew home. The moon stayed up until the morning next day, and none of the ladybugs flew away. So whenever you doubt just how special you are, and you wonder who loves you, how much and how far, listen for geese honking high in the sky. They're singing a song to remember you by. Or notice the bears asleep at the zoo. It's because they've been dancing all night for you. Or in the forest. Or drift off to sleep to the sound of the wind. Listen closely. It's whispering your name again. And if the moon stays up until morning one day, or a ladybug lands and decides to stay, or a little bird sits at your window a while, it's because they're all hoping to see you smile. For never before, in story or rhyme, not even once upon a time, has the world ever known you, my friend, and it never will, not ever again. Heaven blew every trumpet and played every horn on the wonderful, marvelous night you were born. And with that, maybe we're not going to sing our kids out. Maybe we're going to drift to our magical birthing moment music. All right, let's head out.
Thank you, Twinks and Kaeza. It was the best time travel I've done in a long time. I invite us all to take a fuller breath, center our hearts, and take together a few moments for meditation and prayer, followed by a time of silence. Our words of meditation today are from Tim Haley. Amid all the noise in our lives, we take this moment to sit in silence, to give thanks for another day, to give thanks for all those in our lives who have brought us warmth and love, to give thanks for the gift of life. We give thanks for those whom we have loved and lost. Today, we hold in our hearts John Myers and all those who mourn his passing, and the thousands who have died in the earthquakes in the Middle East. We hold all of these memories with tender care and deep love. We know that we are on our pilgrimages here for but a brief moment in time. Let us open ourselves here now to the process of becoming more whole, of living more fully, of giving and forgiving more freely, of understanding more completely the meaning of our lives here on this earth. Let us be together in shared silence. I welcome up now to the pulpit Ken Hill and Leslie Rennie Hill to share a reflection on their stewardship campaign.
Oops. Good morning. Good morning. I love that song, Spirit of Life. It's one of my favorites. My name's Leslie Rennie Hill. My husband Ken and I have been asked to speak about our choice to join First Parish Brewster and our commitment going forward. We moved to the Cape just over a year ago after 40 years in Portland, Oregon. I grew up in New England. I came to the Cape as a kid for many years. My mother and her third husband moved to East Harwich in '92, and we brought many kids and grandkids back here while she was alive up until 2016. Backing up a little bit with a little background about me, I had 6 parents, 2 biological and 4 steps, and each had a different religion. No kidding.
Christian Science, United Church of Christ, Catholic, Quaker, Congregational, and my personal favorite, Sunday morning golf. That was my dad. And yes, I needed a big tent, and UU has provided that for me. I'm also the oldest of 12 mix and match brothers and sisters who live together in various combinations around the country. So yeah, it was a bit crazy, but hey, I did go to counseling. So whenever I'm asked where I'm from or where's home, it's a simple question and answer for a lot of people. But I have to qualify it. Who I was with, using the right pronouns, your dad, my dad, whatever, and where we lived, what I was doing, etc. The technicality of home, the physical space, was not necessarily where I felt at home. I learned that I had to create my home, my sense of safety, belonging, and care, my heart space. Where I live, the Cape is my heart space now, and the ocean is my best friend. My grandmother, Mimi, who was definitely my person, she came on Cape Cod vacations with us and kind of saved me. That's when I could relax and just be a kid. Grandparents are so important, and I see a lot of grandparents out there right now. Anyhow, she taught me to pay attention to good things in unexpected places. Stay alert, expect the best, be amazed were her watchwords. Make sure you're safe, notice love, kindness, connections, and opportunities, and take those opportunities. Be ready to move. She said to me in a private walk, in your family with your mom, nothing is automatic or to be taken for granted. But you can find crumbs of love and connection and support that you need in surprising places. And those crumbs can be just as good as a whole loaf. Through her guidance, I learned to carefully choose my communities, my connections, and my commitments to create my home feeling. And I've chosen First Parish Brewster to be part of my life now and sense of home. Ken's going to speak to some of the many reasons why First Parish Brewster offers that community and those connections and commitments. I can say absolutely that the welcome that we have felt here has been authentic and engaging from the very first time we came here. And we're really grateful for that. In Portland, we were part of a congregation of over 1,200 people. 3 services every Sunday. I mean, it was big. Things operated differently, but covered much of the same needs and actions as are listed on the back of the letter we all received from the Stewardship Committee. In Portland, we were stewardship chairs one year. We vowed that would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And we learned more about what it takes to keep a church solvent. When I look at the many listings of the work of this church, I'm amazed at all that is done with such a small staff and committed congregation. We absolutely love Jessica and appreciate how many roles she's filling as a single pastor without an associate or an intern. So, we committed to join the church last spring and made a more tentative annual pledge because we had to check the place out. After our experiences here, confirming that this would be our church home, we doubled our pledge yesterday when we met with Debbie Klein, and we hope that some of you, if able, will consider doing the same. Thanks for listening. And now for being part of my church family. Okay, babe, your turn.
So, hello. I want to add to Leslie's comments. Not an easy act to follow, but I'm going to do my best. The search that led us here started with an online search. I don't normally do that, but I went online and I looked for all the UU churches in the area close to our Harwich home and discovered Brewster. And you were the closest. Now, we didn't choose it just so we could sleep in an extra hour on Sunday, but it was a factor that you were close. So we started with the Zoom, and we attended the church several times from the Zoom presentation. And were impressed immediately with the genuine warmth, the creativity of the sermons, the music, the time for all ages. That all was very important to us. And then we decided to come to church and be here in person. And as we did, as Leslie mentioned, we were greeted every time, multiple times. It just felt like home very, very quickly. So then we met with Reverend Jessica, and that kind of sealed the deal. We were again impressed and felt welcomed. And we learned all that the church had to offer and confirmed that it was a match with our social justice agenda and values. But really, who wouldn't join a church where you could have a play day? You know, I mean, and you could sing Christmas songs in the summer. Who wouldn't join a church like that? And a church where your dog could be blessed, you know? And you could take a red rose home. Really, who wouldn't join a church like that? And a birthday cake with the friends and people who have birthdays your same month. I mean, really, I'm talking some good stuff here. And we loved the trick-or-treating for UNICEF. And we loved that we got a Valentine in the mail this week. Did you all get your Valentine? I mean, who does that? What kind of a church does that? So, and we love a church where the mirth is welcomed from the back corner as well. That was lovely. So, we joined. And the day we joined, I'll never forget because it was the first time that I got to see you from the front. I mean, Zoom from behind. We sit in the back row. We see you from back there. But the moment that I saw your eyes, that was so warm. It was just surprising, shocking. I assumed that behind the masks there were smiles, but the eyes were warm and they made us feel very much at home. So we're glad to be here. We look forward to continuing our covenant groups, the Dine Around, and I'm hopeful in just a few weeks that I'll be able to share a story in the Time for All Ages. Thanks for welcoming us.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit and take your teal hymnal, turn that to 1053, 1053. How could anyone?
Beautiful. How could anyone ever tell you you were
song is always a tearjerker. Each week we have the practice of splitting our offertory plate. Half of what is collected goes to the work of First Parish Brewster, and the other half goes to a worthy organization nominated by members of our congregation. Today's split plate is with PFLAG, Cape Cod chapter, which really lives deeply in the heart of this congregation. PFLAG provides advocacy, education, and support to parents, families, friends, allies, and members of the LGBTQ community. The organization sponsors events, support groups, and maintains a scholarship fund that awards grants to graduating seniors. There are several ways you can give today. You can text. The number is on your order of service, or you can donate on our website, or you can make a check out to FPBUU. However you choose to give today, thank you for your generosity. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Show me what longs to happen through me. Show me the question I came to answer. I will surrender. I will surrender. Show me the song you've given to me. Show me what longs to happen through me. Show me the question
Song of the Universe by Manish Mishra Marzetti. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who you are. Listen carefully. Can you still hear the song? The one sung for you when you were born. The song sung by a cosmos in motion, rejoicing at your life. You, the result. You, the outcome. You, the celebration. Listen carefully. Can you hear it still? A song of possibility. A reminder that we still have time to be who and what we need to be. Listen carefully. The vast expanse echoes a recognition that it's not always easy. Possibilities can be hard to pursue. Roads not taken, wrong turns, destinations that disappoint. Through this, the song persists. The song persists. The universe sings no less because time and space wear us thin. The music calls us to recognize our limitations, to recognize that the song is best sung with others. Here in community, bringing alive that most primordial and original impulse, the desire to sing to the universe who we are, to celebrate and share our lives with others.
I feel quite short whenever I sit at the stool here. Y'all can see most of my face okay? Great. I'll sit up very straight. Every now and then, I like to open up a book to a random page and seek meaning in whatever words the book falls open to. As a Jewish kid attending very long Saturday morning Shabbat services, this would often happen in hour 2 or 3 of the service, where I'd start to flip restlessly through the readings in the back of the prayer book or through the Bible in the pews. This practice of reading from a random page started when I'd lost interest in whatever was going on in the service. It's true, and was looking for something to keep me entertained, but it evolved into a ritual with real spiritual significance. Bless you. Each time, I'd open the book up to some page, and that was my text for the day. I approached whatever poem or story I landed on with the questions, what is this here to teach me? What is here for me to learn? It wasn't until seminary that I learned about the similar practice in Christianity called Lectio Divina, which just means divine reading. It becomes a especially fun challenge when you read a bizarre or difficult text. You know, many times you open a Bible, you get a list of, and so-and-so begat so-and-so who begat so-and-so. Or if you're really lucky, you get discussions about how to diagnose leprosy. A few years ago, I came back to this practice on a day where I was both seeking spiritual guidance and avoiding packing the books for a move. I picked a book up off the shelf, and as I brought it toward the cardboard box to pack it, I opened it up to a page somewhere in the middle. The book was a Tanakh, a Hebrew-English Bible, and it fell open to Psalms. I read these words from Psalm 139. God, you have examined me and know me. When I sit down or stand up, you know it. You discern my thoughts from afar. You observe my walking and reclining and are familiar with all my ways. There is not a word on my tongue but that you, God, know it well. You support me before and behind. You lay your hand upon me. It is beyond my knowledge. It is a mystery. I cannot fathom it. Where can I escape your spirit? Where can I flee your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I descend to the pit, you are there too. If I take wing with the dawn and come to rest on the western horizon, even there your hand will be holding me fast. It was you who created my conscience. You fashioned me in my mother's womb. He's a good preacher's dog, but he does get tired of the sermons. We're almost done with the psalm, I promise. You fashioned me in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am awesomely, wondrously made. I know it very well. I praise you, for I am awesomely, wondrously made. Your work is wonderful. I know it very well. What is this here to teach me? What am I here to learn? I noticed that when I read those words, I paused in my reading and sighed. Do I actually know that I am awesomely, wondrously made? Not most days. I've lived with chronic illnesses and disabilities for most of my life. And day to day, I tend to focus on my limitations, on finding ways to work around them, to be able to do the things I want to do in life. But this bumps up against my theology and my understanding of what we're here for. I believe that we're each here to uniquely contribute to the world, to give the gift that only we can give. But the way I tell my story in my own head, I offer things to the world despite my physical limitations. I find ways to answer my callings despite. But if I am awesomely, wondrously made, that would mean that my body was awesomely, wondrously made, disabilities and all. So what if the thing that we are here to contribute is not despite our limitations, but because of them? I think of this visual artist I love named Vered Otmi. Vered is an Israeli artist who paints these grand and intricate patterns that always catch my eye. There are interwoven vines, filigrees, and just elaborate designs. I learned that at one point, Vered had been treated for breast cancer. As part of her recovery after a mastectomy, her occupational therapist encouraged her to start painting again, but painting with both hands to help build strength back up after surgery. And the results are these incredible symmetrical patterns that have become her signature style. And she now especially hires folks who have lived with cancer to work in her studio. This thing that could have been a burden that she worked around or waited out until life got back to normal, if that ever happened, or that could have had her stop making art altogether, instead she let it teach her. She let her illness and her recovering body shape the art that she made, making not only some of the most stunning artwork that I've ever seen in person, but building community around it for folks who were going through what she'd been through. I think also of Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin was born in 1947, and she barely spoke a word until she was 4 years old. She had autism. Temple would fixate and obsess over things, had trouble recognizing others' emotional states, and would get set off into panic attacks that the rest of the world around her had trouble understanding. What she also had was an incredible visual mind. She thought in pictures rather than in words. You may have seen an opinion essay she published a few weeks ago in the New York Times about visual thinkers. I commend it to you to look at. As a teenager in the 1960s, Temple stayed with her aunt on a cattle farm. While watching the ranchers herd up some agitated cows to give them inoculations, Temple noticed that the cows calmed down when they were put into a squeeze chute. It's a metal contraption that closed its sides around the cow to hold it in place. Temple reasoned that the pressure surrounding the animals helped calm their overstimulated nerves. During a panic attack of her own, Temple ran to the squeeze chute and put herself inside it. And with the walls closed snugly around her, her agitation and anxiety began to ease, and she found calm. She ended up building a version of this that she called a hug machine. She built it for herself as a support system that she used throughout college and then graduate school, and it's a design that is still used to help people with sensory processing disorders. I think of it often when I put on my weighted blanket to snuggle up. Because of Temple's visual memory and incredible detail recall, she was able to reimagine how handlers could work with cows in more humane ways. And people called her crazy. But she herself experienced firsthand anxiety and feeling threatened by everything in her surroundings, which gave her a special kind of empathy for these cows. It led her to become one of the first scientists to report on how animals are sensitive to visual distractions in their handling facilities, things like shadows or dangling chains or waving flags, details that most neurotypical people weren't noticing. She studied the cows' behavior and the way they react to the world around them and built adaptive, curved corrals for them to go through to help reduce the animals' stress, panic, and injury. Her groundbreaking humane interventions are now used by a majority of the cattle handlers in North America. She's become a world-renowned professor and lecturer on both autism and animal handling. In her 2010 TED Talk, Temple reflected that, quote, "In a normal human mind, language covers up the visual thinking that we share with animals. But the world," she said, "needs all kinds of minds." I look at examples like these and I think about this concept from Kabbalah, from Jewish mystical teachings. There's a mystical teaching that before they are born, the souls of children choose their parents. They choose this moment in time, this family, this body to be born into, because there is something that that soul needs to learn from that particular life, or something that the world needs from that particular soul. Now, I don't know if I believe that my soul chose this, nor do I know if I believe in a God who fashioned me before I was born and supports me wherever I go, like the Psalm says. I don't think it actually matters, though, if I believe it. If I try it on, if my soul did choose this body because there was something for me to learn, what might it be? If I am alive at this moment in time, in this place, what might the world need from me? Bless you. So try this on with me for a moment, if you will. Pick some limitation that you felt has been holding you back. Something that happened to you in your life, perhaps, or something else that you might say constrains you. Just sit with it for a moment. I acknowledge the courage it takes to look at it. What is here to teach me? What is this here for me to learn? What if your life's work and purpose were not despite that limitation, but part of the unique contribution that you are here to make? What if you, your body, the way your mind works, the way your heart loves, was not a mistake or an accident? What if you were awesomely, wondrously made? If that were true, what is the next thing for you to do? Let's do it together. Amen. In honor of all that is within us to give, to share with the world, we invite you to sing our closing hymn with us. Number 118 in your gray hymnals, This Little Light of Mine.
And actually, I'm going to venture to guess that you may know this song, and I'll feed you the lines ahead of time, so even if you don't, please rise in body and or spirit. This little light, this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
everywhere I go.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine.
With harmonies.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Building up a world.
Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
One more time on this little light.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
We invite you to remain risen for our benediction with words attributed to and slightly adapted from Universalist minister John Murray.
May I give a poem that came through me on the death of my grandfather, child of the cosmos. Know you all the atoms in your foolish body were forged in a wondrous star, annealed in the ancient heat of 10,000 billion suns, unfathomable fires, fluxions, congealed for a twinkling tide on a wave, knotted together, momentary, miraculous, finite integrity. Can you quite fathom the dimensions of time your souls define? Beam on, you crest of stardust, incredible constellation, fire of the one beyond all, and know you shall never end. Alpha to Omega born, no, you shall never end. Thank you.
Beam on, stardust. Go in peace, and may you be blessed as you are a blessing.
Nice as usual. Good, good. This was really nice. Music, message, everything. Very nice.
I'm Matt. Okay.
That's nice.
Coffee.
Huh?
You going into coffee?
Yeah, probably. Yep.